Lena tightened the straps of her small backpack as she walked into the jiu-jitsu gym. The bright lights reflected off the mats and the faint smell of sweat mixed with the scent of cleaning solution filled the air. Her stomach was full of butterflies. Today she was nervous because she would face a challenge she had been thinking about for weeks. She had practiced her moves at home and in her small backyard, but standing on the gym mats in front of everyone felt different. Her coach, Mr. Raoul, noticed her hesitation and smiled warmly. Lena, remember, courage is not about being the strongest. It is about trying your best and trusting yourself. Take a deep breath and focus. Lena nodded. She trusted Mr. Raoul, and his words gave her a little spark of confidence. The gym was buzzing with activity. Kids of all ages were paired up, practicing their moves. Some were rolling gently on the mats. Others were practicing throws, and a few were demonstrating new techniques they had just learned. Lena watched them closely, trying to remember the techniques she had learned in her last classes. She tightened her ponytail and stepped closer to the mat. Across the room, Tom, a tall and experienced black belt, noticed Lena. He was showing some older students how to execute a perfect arm lock. He finished and turned toward Lena, raising an eyebrow. "Oh, it is her," he said loud enough for others to hear. "The little girl who thinks she can handle a black belt." His laugh echoed in the gym. Lena's cheeks warmed. She wanted to shrink back, but she remembered Mr. Raoul's advice. She straightened her back and held her head high. She did not respond with words. Instead, she stepped onto the mat and took her position, her hands ready, her feet steady. Tom smirked. "This will be fun," he said to himself. He assumed this would be easy, just a small girl who would struggle and give up quickly. He did not notice the determination in Lena's eyes. Mr. Raoul called the students to gather for a warm-up. Lena followed the group, moving carefully across the mats. She focused on her breathing, slow and steady as her heart beat faster. She tried to quiet the nervous thoughts that whispered, "He is bigger. He is stronger. What if you fail?" Instead, she repeated another thought she had practiced many times. "I can do this. I am ready. I will try my best." During the warm-up, Lena noticed how the other students were observing her. Some whispered, "Do you think she can do it?" Others shrugged, not sure what to expect. Lena focused on each movement. She stretched, rolled, and practiced her footwork. Every step reminded her of her training and how much she had improved over the past months. Finally, Mr. Raoul paired Lena with Tom. Lena's stomach tightened. She felt a mix of fear and excitement. She bowed politely and Tom raised his arms in a ready stance, smiling confidently. "Okay, little one, show me what you can do," he said in a teasing tone. Lena bowed back and got into her stance. She felt the weight of the moment, but she also felt a strange sense of calm. This was what she had been waiting for. Her hands were steady, her feet planted firmly on the mat, and her mind clear. Tom made the first move, expecting her to struggle. Lena watched his hands, his steps, and his weight carefully. She did not rush. She waited for the right moment. Even though Tom was bigger and stronger, Lena remembered that size and strength were not everything in jiu-jitsu. Technique, focus, and patience mattered just as much. Her heart still raced, but her mind was sharp. This was the beginning of a challenge that could teach her more than she had ever imagined. The other students stopped to watch, sensing that something interesting was about to happen. Lena's determination stood out, and her small frame seemed ready for anything. She knew that the first step was the hardest, and she had already taken it. Tom took a deep breath, his black belt gleaming under the gym lights. He assumed that today would be an easy day. Lena, a small girl, stood across from him with her hands up and her feet steady. Her ponytail swayed slightly as she adjusted her stance. Tom smirked. "You really think you can do this?" he said loudly. A few students nearby chuckled quietly, unsure if she could handle someone so much bigger than her. Lena did not respond. She had learned that words were not always necessary. She focused on her breathing, inhaling slowly and exhaling with calm precision. Her mind replayed every lesson her coach, Mr. Raoul, had taught her. Each movement, each lock, each shift of weight mattered. She had practiced for months to prepare for this moment, and she refused to let doubt take over. The instructor, Mr. Raoul, stepped back and observed. "Remember, it is not about strength. Use your mind and technique," he said. Lena nodded slightly and Tom gave a small laugh, clearly thinking this was just a formality. Tom moved first, stepping forward quickly. He reached for Lena, expecting her to stumble or flinch. Lena did not move hastily. Instead, she shifted her weight slightly and sidestepped. Her small hands reached for his arm, holding it with careful control. Tom's eyes widened in surprise. She applied a wrist grip she had practiced repeatedly, her fingers strong and precise. The students watching gasped softly. Lena's friends whispered encouragement. "She can do it." "Look at her." Mia, a classmate, grinned and clapped quietly. Lena felt a rush of confidence. She realized that staying calm and watching carefully allowed her to anticipate Tom's moves. Even though he was much taller and stronger, her patience gave her an advantage. Tom attempted to recover, shifting his weight and trying to push Lena back. Lena adjusted her position quickly, keeping her center low and her grip firm. Her training in footwork and balance helped her stay steady. The black belt's strength did not intimidate her. She had learned that technique could overcome size. "Interesting," Tom muttered, his smirk fading. He tried another move, expecting Lena to struggle. Lena waited. She did not panic or rush. Instead, she moved with careful timing, guiding his arm and redirecting his strength. In less than 10 seconds, she applied a gentle but effective hold. Tom's eyes widened again as he realized he could not move without tapping. The gym fell silent for a moment. Even the older students stopped what they were doing to watch. Lena's small frame was poised, her hands steady and her face calm. She had done exactly what she had practiced. She held her position carefully, respecting the rules, while Tom realized that he had underestimated her skill. "Time," Mr. Raoul called, stepping forward. The room erupted in applause. Lena released her grip and stepped back. Her heart was pounding, but she was smiling. She had proven to herself that her training, focus, and courage could overcome even someone much bigger. Tom stood up slowly, adjusting his uniform. He looked at Lena with a mixture of surprise and respect. "I underestimated you," he admitted quietly. Lena nodded politely. She did not need to say anything. Her actions had spoken louder than words. The other students gathered around, eager to hear about her technique. Lena showed them slowly how she had moved and explained each step. Her classmates listened carefully, impressed that a small girl could hold her own against a black belt. Lena felt proud but humble. She knew that learning and practicing every day was what had made this moment possible. Mr. Raoul clapped his hands and smiled. "See, everyone? It is not about size. It is about patience, focus, and technique. Lena has shown us that even the smallest student can do something great if they believe in themselves." Lena felt a warm feeling inside. She realized that today she had learned more than just a move. She had learned about courage, self-belief, and respect. As the class continued, Lena returned to her exercises with renewed energy. She was no longer nervous. Instead, she felt confident and determined. She understood that every practice, every drill, and every lesson mattered. Today had shown her that focus and heart were stronger than fear and doubt. After her small victory, Lena felt a wave of confidence flow through her. She wiped her hands on her uniform and took a deep breath. Her friends cheered quietly from the side of the mat, their eyes wide with admiration. Even some of the older students gave her nods of approval. Today, Lena had shown everyone that size and age did not matter as much as focus, patience, and practice. Tom, the black belt, was quietly adjusting his uniform across the mat. He had faced many opponents in his life, but this small girl had surprised him. His pride was bruised, but he respected her skill. He glanced at Lena and realized that he had made a mistake by underestimating her. He shook his head slightly and muttered to himself, "She is better than I thought." Mr. Raoul gathered the students for the next drill. Lena followed closely, her movements precise and careful. She wanted to learn from every moment. She knew that every match, every practice, and every observation would make her stronger. Today had been exciting, but she also understood that there was more to learn. Tom was paired with another student, but his eyes kept drifting toward Lena. He watched how she practiced her footwork and balance. Even during warm-up exercises, Lena moved with care and focus. She was small, but every step was deliberate, every movement measured. Tom realized that her skill came not from strength, but from understanding the fundamentals. As the next session began, Mr. Raoul announced a series of practice drills where students would face opponents of different sizes and ages. Lena's heart beat faster, not from fear, but from excitement. She was eager to try more techniques and test her skills. She had learned that she could handle challenges when she remained calm and focused. When her turn came, Lena was paired with a slightly older boy named Kevin. He was taller than her, but Lena remembered what Mr. Raoul had always said. Technique and patience win over strength and size. She bowed politely, and Kevin smiled, ready to practice. Lena held her stance steady, her eyes on his movements. Kevin moved quickly, trying to test her balance. Lena shifted her weight, adjusting carefully, and managed to redirect his force with ease. Kevin laughed, surprised at her control. "You are really good," he admitted. Lena smiled, proud but humble. After the drill, Lena took a moment to catch her breath. Her mind replayed what had happened with Tom earlier. That moment had shown her that confidence and calmness could overcome fear and doubt. She realized that respect was earned not by strength but by skill and courage. Tom had finished his own drills and walked over to Lena. "You are improving fast," he said, his tone sincere. Lena looked up and nodded. She remembered how he had laughed at her at the beginning of class. Now there was respect in his eyes. Lena felt proud, but she did not let it distract her. She knew that every lesson was an opportunity to grow. The other students gathered around, curious about Lena's techniques. She demonstrated a few basic moves, explaining how to use balance, leverage, and timing. Everyone listened carefully, impressed by how a small girl could control her opponent's movements with such precision. Lena felt happy that she could help others learn. Teaching made her feel strong and confident. Mr. Raoul called everyone to a circle. "Remember, skill is more important than size. Lena has shown us that even the smallest student can have great ability if they practice and believe in themselves." Lena felt warmth in her chest. She realized that today was not just about winning or losing. It was about learning, practicing, and showing courage. As the class continued, Lena moved with a new sense of energy. Her confidence grew with every step, every hold, and every technique she practiced. She had faced a challenge, overcome doubt, and earned respect. Today had taught her an important lesson. Strength is not measured by size, but by focus, determination, and heart. Lena had been practicing for almost an hour when Mr. Raoul called for a special exercise. "Today we will do controlled matches," he announced. "Pair up with someone you haven't practiced with yet. Remember, focus, patience, and technique are more important than strength." Lena's heart raced with excitement. She looked across the mat and saw Tom standing with his arms folded, watching the students carefully. When his eyes met hers, she felt a mixture of nerves and determination. She knew he still underestimated her, but that only made her more focused. Tom walked toward her, his steps calm but confident. "Ready to try again?" he asked, his voice teasing but quieter than before. Lena nodded politely. She bowed and Tom returned the gesture. The class formed a circle around them, curious to see what would happen next. Mr. Raoul clapped his hands. "Begin." Tom moved first, trying to use his size and experience to take control quickly. He reached for Lena's arm, expecting her to stumble. Lena remained calm. She shifted her weight, bending her knees slightly, and moved to the side. Her hands found the right position, and she applied a gentle grip to Tom's wrist. The gym grew quiet. Everyone could see that this match would be different from the usual drills. Lena's movements were deliberate, her eyes focused on every shift of Tom's weight. She remembered all the lessons she had learned: patience, timing, and control. She was small, but she had an advantage in focus and precision. Tom tried to adjust, pushing his arm forward, thinking he could overpower her. Lena responded with careful technique, guiding his movement without force. Her balance stayed perfect and her small frame did not falter. She used leverage and timing, moving smoothly and confidently. The students around the mat whispered in amazement. Many had expected Tom to win easily, but now they could see that Lena was not struggling. Her posture was steady, her grip controlled, and her eyes calm. Tom's confident expression showed slight surprise. He had underestimated her once, and now he realized he had to pay attention. Lena gently shifted Tom's arm and positioned herself for a hold she had practiced many times. She applied it carefully, making sure it was safe but effective. Tom realized quickly that he could not move without giving a tap. His eyes widened and he paused for a moment, impressed by her skill. "Time," Mr. Raoul called, stepping closer. Lena released her grip and stepped back. The gym erupted in applause. Lena smiled quietly, proud of what she had accomplished. She had faced someone much bigger and more experienced and had stayed calm, focused, and in control. Tom stood up slowly and adjusted his uniform. He looked at Lena with a mixture of respect and surprise. "You are very skilled," he said sincerely. "I misjudged you before." Lena nodded politely. She had learned that confidence, patience, and respect mattered more than showing off or boasting. Her friends rushed over to congratulate her. "That was amazing," Mia said, clapping her hands. "You really controlled him." Lena smiled, feeling happy and proud. She knew that practicing, learning, and staying focused had made this possible. Mr. Raoul called the class together. "Today, Lena has shown everyone an important lesson," he said. "It does not matter how small you are. It does not matter how big or experienced someone else is. What matters is patience, focus, technique, and heart." Lena felt warmth and pride. She realized that jiu-jitsu was not only about winning matches. It was about learning, growing, and respecting everyone on the mat. She had learned to trust herself, to stay calm under pressure, and to use her skill wisely. As the class continued, Lena returned to her exercises with renewed energy. Her movements were smooth, confident, and precise. She knew that every step, every drill, and every lesson was helping her become stronger, not just in skill but in character. She had faced a challenge, proven herself, and earned respect, and she felt ready for whatever came next. Lena felt her heart beating fast as she wiped her hands on her uniform. The controlled match with Tom had given her a rush of confidence, but she knew there was more to learn. Mr. Raoul smiled at her and nodded. "You are ready for the next step. Keep your focus and remember your technique." Lena nodded. She was ready to continue. The class gathered for the next drill. Mr. Raoul explained that students would practice combinations of moves, focusing on precision and timing. Lena's eyes sparkled with excitement. She had always loved learning new techniques, and today she felt like she could handle anything. Tom stood across the mat, watching carefully. He had learned to respect Lena after their match, but he was still a teacher and an experienced black belt. He moved with caution, his eyes tracking her every movement. Lena noticed him watching and felt a surge of determination. She wanted to show that she could stay calm and in control, even when someone big and skilled was observing her closely. Her first drill partner was a student named Alex, slightly bigger than her. Lena bowed politely and Alex nodded. "Let's go," he said with a smile. Lena moved quickly but carefully. She shifted her weight, adjusted her feet, and anticipated Alex's movements. She used small but precise actions to guide him gently without force. Alex tried to move past her, but Lena maintained her balance and redirected his steps. The other students watched closely, impressed by her skill. Even Tom's eyes widened slightly as he saw how effectively Lena was controlling her partner. She was not relying on strength. She was relying on focus, technique, and timing. Each move was deliberate, smooth, and controlled. Lena smiled slightly. She realized that every small detail she practiced in class had helped her handle this challenge successfully. After a few rounds, it was time for Lena to try another drill. Mr. Raoul paired her with Kevin again. This time, the drill required students to attempt submissions in a controlled manner while maintaining perfect form. Lena concentrated, remembering how she had succeeded against Tom. She was patient, precise, and confident. Kevin moved first, but Lena anticipated his actions. She shifted her weight, caught his arm, and applied a gentle hold. Kevin tried to resist, but Lena guided him carefully, keeping everything safe. Her small hands worked efficiently, and her movements were perfectly timed. Kevin smiled and nodded. "You are amazing," he said, impressed. Lena returned the smile, feeling proud but calm. Tom observed quietly from across the mat. He had watched many students in his life, but Lena's focus and skill stood out. She had shown that size was not the most important factor in jiu-jitsu. Technique, timing, and patience were far more powerful. He realized that she was not just a small student. She was a student with a strong heart and mind. As the drills continued, Lena practiced again and again, moving with confidence and grace. Her friends cheered softly from the sidelines, amazed at how calm and precise she was. She explained a few techniques to her classmates, showing them how to use balance, leverage, and timing correctly. Everyone listened carefully, impressed by her skill and composure. Mr. Raoul finally called the students together. "Today you have all learned an important lesson," he said. "Lena has shown that patience, focus, and respect are more important than strength. She has demonstrated that even a small student can accomplish great things with practice and belief in themselves." Lena felt warmth and pride inside. She realized that her hard work and focus had earned her respect and confidence. As the class ended, Lena returned to her exercises one last time. She moved with renewed energy, enjoying every step, every hold, and every technique. She had faced challenges, stayed calm, and proven herself. She understood that the lessons she learned today were about more than jiu-jitsu. They were about courage, patience, and believing in her own ability. Lena left the mat feeling proud, strong, and ready for any challenge. Today had shown her that with practice, focus, and heart, she could handle anything. She had grown not only in skill but also in confidence, respect, and determination. The journey was just beginning, and Lena felt ready for every step ahead. Lena stretched her arms and legs, feeling the burn of the day's practice, but her excitement had not faded. The controlled drills had taught her patience, precision, and courage. Her friends whispered encouraging words from the sidelines, and Lena felt proud to have earned their admiration. Today had shown her that even small students could perform remarkable moves if they focused on skill and determination. Tom, the black belt, walked across the mat and studied Lena with careful eyes. He had been impressed by her earlier performance, but he still needed to remind himself that he could not underestimate anyone. Tom's pride had been challenged, but he respected her effort and her skill. He decided to participate in the next exercise himself, pairing with Lena once again. "Ready for one more round?" Tom asked, his tone friendly but serious. Lena nodded and adjusted her stance. She felt her small hands and feet steady on the mat. Her heart raced, but her mind was calm. She remembered every lesson she had learned about timing, balance, and control. She was ready to apply her techniques carefully and safely. Mr. Raoul clapped his hands. "Begin." Lena and Tom bowed to each other and stepped into position. The room was quiet except for the sounds of their breathing and the mats under their feet. Lena felt a wave of focus sweep over her. She had faced him before, but this time she felt more confident and aware. Tom moved first, gently testing Lena's reactions. Lena observed his steps, the way he shifted his weight and the angle of his arms. She responded slowly and deliberately, sidestepping, adjusting her grip, and keeping her balance. Her movements were precise and her eyes remained calm and steady. Tom tried to guide her forward, expecting her to stumble or falter. Lena used her small size to her advantage, keeping her center low and her body steady. She applied a gentle wrist grip, redirecting his strength without forcing him. Tom realized quickly that Lena's technique was precise and intentional. The other students watched in awe. They had seen her face larger opponents and now observed how she stayed calm and controlled. Lena's friends whispered, cheering quietly, and the energy in the gym grew. Even Tom could not hide the surprise in his expression. He had underestimated Lena at first, but now he saw her true skill and focus. Lena continued to move carefully. She shifted Tom's arm and used a gentle guiding technique she had practiced countless times. Her hands were steady, her posture perfect, and her movement smooth. Tom tried to resist, but Lena stayed calm and applied the technique correctly. In a few moments, she positioned him in a safe hold, showing her skill without causing harm. "Time," Mr. Raoul called. Lena released the hold and stepped back. The gym erupted in applause and cheers. Lena's cheeks were flushed with excitement and pride. She had faced one of the most experienced students in the class and had remained confident, calm, and precise. Tom stood and adjusted his uniform. He looked at Lena with genuine respect. "You have really improved. I misjudged you before," he said quietly. Lena smiled politely, feeling proud but humble. She knew that skill and focus earned respect, not words or sighs. The class gathered around as Mr. Raoul spoke. "Today, Lena has shown everyone the value of patience, focus, and courage. It does not matter how small you are. What matters is your heart, your mind, and your determination." Lena felt warmth in her chest. She realized that jiu-jitsu was not only about winning matches, but also about learning, growing, and showing respect to others. As the class ended, Lena practiced a few more moves with renewed energy. She moved confidently across the mat, each step and grip precise and careful. She felt stronger not just in skill but in character. She had faced fear, challenged assumptions, and earned respect. She understood that every lesson she learned was building her courage, patience, and focus. Lena left the mat feeling proud, strong, and excited for the future. She knew she had grown today in many ways. She had proven that determination, focus, and respect mattered more than size or experience. She smiled to herself, ready for any challenge that might come her way. Lena stood on the mat, her small frame steady and ready. The gym was quiet for a moment as everyone turned to watch. Today's class had been full of drills and challenges, but now it was time for a demonstration where she would face Tom again. The black belt had already seen her skill, but now she would have a chance to show how much she had learned. Lena felt a mix of nerves and excitement, but most of all, determination. Her friends whispered encouragement from the sidelines. "You can do it, Lena," said Mia, her eyes shining with admiration. Lena nodded slightly. She focused on her breathing, inhaling slowly and exhaling with calmness. She reminded herself of all the lessons Mr. Rowell had taught her. Patience, focus, and technique were more important than speed or strength. She was ready to face the challenge. Tom stepped onto the mat, bowing politely. "Ready for this round?" he asked, his voice calm but serious. Lena returned the bow and got into her stance. The students formed a circle around them, eager to see the match. Even those who had doubted Lena earlier were now watching closely, curious to see how she would perform. Mr. Rowell gave the signal. "Begin." Tom moved first, gently testing her reactions. He tried a basic hold, expecting her to react slowly. Lena watched carefully, her eyes following every shift of his weight. She shifted slightly to the side, adjusting her stance. Her small hands found the perfect grip, and she guided his arm with careful precision. Tom felt his strength redirected and realized that Lena was no longer a beginner. She had learned to anticipate and respond with skill. Lena moved gracefully across the mat, maintaining her balance while keeping her focus. She shifted her weight, adjusted her grip, and guided Tom's movements with careful control. She had practiced these techniques for months, and now every lesson was coming together. Her movements were smooth, precise, and confident. The other students watched silently, amazed by her skill. Even the older students were impressed. Lena had faced challenges before, but now she demonstrated true control. She was small, but her understanding of timing and leverage made her a strong opponent. She felt a sense of calm power. Every movement she made was deliberate, every adjustment precise. Tom tried to regain control using his size and strength. He moved carefully, but Lena anticipated each step. She shifted her center of gravity, applied gentle leverage, and guided him into a controlled position. The gym was silent except for the sounds of their careful movements on the mat. Lena's small hands and steady posture allowed her to keep control without causing harm. In less than a dozen seconds, Lena applied a classic jiu-jitsu hold she had practiced many times. Tom realized he could not escape without tapping. His eyes widened in surprise, and he nodded respectfully. Lena maintained her calm focus, her small frame steady and strong. She had done it safely but effectively. "Time," Mr. Rowell called. Lena released her grip and stepped back. The room erupted in applause. Her friends cheered, and even the older students clapped, impressed by her skill. Lena smiled quietly, feeling proud but humble. She had faced a bigger, stronger opponent and remained confident, precise, and in control. Tom stood and adjusted his uniform. He looked at Lena with genuine respect. "I should have paid attention from the start. You have real skill and focus," he said. Lena nodded politely, understanding that respect was earned through action, not words. Mr. Rowell gathered the students and spoke. "Lena has shown everyone an important lesson today. Skill, focus, and patience are more powerful than size and strength. She has demonstrated courage, discipline, and respect. Remember this in every class." Lena felt a warmth in her heart. She realized that today was not only about proving herself, but also about showing the value of learning, focus, and determination. As the class ended, Lena packed her bag with a smile. She had faced fear, challenged doubt, and earned respect. She knew that every lesson she had learned would help her grow stronger and more confident. Today had been a victory, not only in skill but in courage and heart. The gym was quiet as the last few students finished their drills. Lena stood near the center of the mat, her small frame upright and steady. Today had been a long day of practice, learning, and challenge. She felt tired, but she also felt strong, proud, and ready for anything. Her friends had been cheering her on all day, and their smiles gave her warmth and confidence. Tom, the black belt, walked toward her. He had watched Lena closely in every exercise and every match. His expression had changed since the morning. He was no longer confident in a teasing way. Now he looked at Lena with respect. He had underestimated her at first, but she had shown skill, focus, and courage beyond her size and age. "Lena," he said quietly, "you have improved so much. I'm impressed. You have skill and patience and you stay calm under pressure. That is what makes a true martial artist. Lena smiled politely, feeling proud but humble. She knew that words of praise were nice, but the real reward was in her own confidence and the knowledge that she had done her best. Mr. Rowell stepped forward and addressed the class. Everyone, take a look at what Lena has accomplished today. She has shown that patience, focus, and heart are more important than size or strength. She has earned respect through her skill and determination. The students looked at Lena with admiration. Some clapped softly, others whispered their amazement. Lena felt warmth spread through her chest. She had faced challenges, stayed calm, and proved herself in every way. Tom bowed to her. "Would you like to practice one more round together?" he asked. Lena nodded. She stepped onto the mat, feeling steady and ready. The class formed a circle around them, excited to see the final demonstration. Lena's friends held their breath in anticipation, curious to see what she would do next. Mr. Rowell called, "Begin." Tom moved first, carefully testing Lena's reactions. She watched closely, her small eyes following every shift of his weight. She did not rush or panic. Instead, she moved with careful timing, her stance low and balanced. Her hands found the right positions, and she guided Tom's movements gently but effectively. He tried to adjust using his strength, but Lena redirected him smoothly, showing perfect technique and control. The gym was silent, every student watching in awe. Lena moved gracefully, her body steady and precise. She had faced bigger and more experienced opponents all day, and now she demonstrated complete control. Every step, every grip, every movement was calculated and confident. Tom could not believe how well she anticipated and responded to his actions. In just a few moments, Lena applied a safe but effective hold she had practiced countless times. Tom realized he could not escape without tapping. He nodded respectfully, acknowledging her skill and focus. Lena held her stance confidently, showing calm power and control. The other students cheered, clapping and smiling. Lena's friends ran to her side, their faces glowing with pride. "Time," Mr. Rowell called. Lena released her grip and stepped back. She bowed politely to Tom, who returned the bow with a smile of respect. The class erupted in applause. Lena's heart swelled with pride. She had proven herself not just in skill but in courage, focus, and determination. Mr. Rowell gathered the students one last time. "Lena has taught us all an important lesson today. It is not the size of the body that matters. It is the size of the heart, the strength of the mind, and the focus of the spirit. She has shown patience, courage, and skill. Remember this in every practice and every challenge you face." Lena felt warmth and pride. She realized that her journey was about learning, growing, and believing in herself. As the class ended, Lena packed her bag and smiled. She had faced challenges, earned respect, and discovered a strength she had never known before. Tom nodded to her one final time. "Keep practicing, Lena. You will go far," he said. Lena nodded, feeling proud and inspired. Walking out of the gym, Lena felt taller than ever. Today had taught her that courage, patience, focus, and heart were more important than anything else. She knew that every challenge she faced in the future could be met with confidence and determination. She had learned the most important lesson of all: never underestimate yourself and never doubt what you can achieve when you stay calm, focused, and brave. Lena left the gym smiling. Her journey had begun, and she was ready for every step ahead. Today had shown her that even the smallest person could achieve greatness through heart, skill, and determination. She felt proud, confident, and unstoppable.